and we're heading into, we're going to end up in Yosemite. You can kind of get an idea as we look back down how we came up in the car. Here we are at Tioga Pass, 9,941 feet as it tells you there. There happened to be no ranger there that day. After we got to the top of it, we kind of thought we better ham it up, and Grandma Stevens got out there fanning the radiator off, and as you can see, it's the old Ford again. I'm still working on it, and then I pretended like I was pushing it. That was one heck of a climb in those days. Today, it's a piece of cake. Again, I don't know which lake it is, but you can see the old road goes right by it. As you traveled on this road here, it was strictly a one-way road. You had to watch ahead and make room for the cars to pass you, or they made room for you to pass. And it just, as you can see, we wind around through the trees. Here's an example of a car pulling over so we can get by. With the road being that narrow and that little, if you can make out the shadow right in the bottom of the center of the picture, that happens to be a deer. You can kind of see his legs, and then this is his tail. And unfortunately, again, we didn't use the light on it, so we got a dark picture. There's another deer. We've seen a lot of wildlife as we travel over it. Unfortunately, today when you travel the Tioga Pass, you don't see that. I think now we're in Yosemite Valley, and I think we're looking up at, I'll tell you, yeah, we're looking up at, what do they call that one, where the guys parachute off of today? Anyhow, this is Yosemite Falls. If you've never been to Yosemite Valley, you need to go up there and look at it. It is a very, very beautiful valley. I don't know what Grandma's looking at there. No, it looks like Grandma was right. We met the Boy Scouts when we got up there. Somebody else brought the boys to Yosemite. They're all fighting to stand on a log. Well, I can't tell who they are. There was a place called Indian Caves. I guess it still exists. Basically all it was a bunch of rocks that had fallen down with little caves underneath them. Boys had a ball there. This is when you used to be able to get into Yosemite almost without reservations, especially if you stayed in the organized campground. This is called Bridalveil Falls because of the way the wind blows. It makes it look like a veil that you would see on the back of a ride. We always took an overnight to top of Nevada Falls and Vernal Falls. This is some of the boys. I'm going to name them, but I'm not necessarily going to be in order. Grandma was also with us. There's Robert. I can't remember his last name. Mike Brooks, Tommy Evanson, the two Bigler boys, and their father, Dr. Bigler, who brought all of most of your mothers and dads into the world. And of course, Grandpa and Grandma. It's called Vernal Falls. You have two choices here. You can hike what they call the Trail of the Mist, which you do hike up very steep steps, slippery, dangerous, etc. and so forth, till you get to the top of the falls. Or you can take the Switchback Trail that also brings you to the same location. And believe it or not, you can see part of that trail, what they call the Trail of the Mist, coming up. Okay, this is what's the top fall, which is called Nevada Falls, which as you can tell is the longest one. It also has a Trail of the Mist, but we didn't take it, and it goes up the other side of the fall. This is the top of Nevada Falls, break time. I don't know who that troop that girl belongs to. She didn't belong to us. These are some of the boys laying around for their lunch break, etc. and so forth, before we continue on back up the Merced River into the backcountry. Now, believe it or not, these falls have had many people go over them because they get into it and forget to slip fast and over they go. I think today they have walls all around it so you can't even get in the water. We're now about 2 or 2.5 miles back in from the falls where we set up camp. There's Tommy Amfinson. This young man, I don't really remember who he is. The other boy looks like the Brooks boy. This is Roger Dupay. Evidently he's doing dishes and walking back and forth with each one. There's the Brooks boy and Robert, I don't remember his last name, throwing rocks in, and then some of the others in the background. One of those looked like a Bigler boy. And I want you to notice the backpacks as these boys, as we show them to you at a better close-up. These backpacks these boys are carrying, we made ourselves. And I want you to notice the tying on it. We call it a diamond hitch. This is Roger Dupay, who cut his toe open pretty bad, so I let him walk out with his thongs on. We went up to Glacier Point, which is 4,000 feet above the valley floor. It's where they used to push off what they call the fire falls. You can look down on the 2 falls that we just hiked above and then back up that canyon 2 miles. The top one being Nevada Falls, the bottom one being Vernal. But I won't go into that story now about Half Dome. The Scouts used to love to go to Yosemite. This is looking down at the valley 4,000 feet down to Camp Curry, the Merced River that runs through it, etc. and so forth. That's not snow on the ground. It's just a bad camera or bad lighting. That's the swimming pool located at Camp Curry, which is a place where you pay to stay in a cabin and so forth. This is one of the roads that leads you on through the valley and through the meadows into the campgrounds, which is in the trees there. And Mother's pointing at me now at something. I think she wants me to tell you that we were located in the northern part of that thing. At a group camp, and being there at the group camp, we had lots of wildlife come in and visit us all the time, including bears at night. I think we're packing up now, getting ready to go home after a week there. This is Dr. Bigler, Roscoe Bigler's car. He has a little trailer behind. This is my little old 49 Ford again. They used to call it a Woody. I think it's a Ford. I'm not sure. Now here we go through the tunnel as we're heading towards Fresno. His car is probably one of the first style of modern station wagons. Okay, there's some of the boys asleep in the back seat. There's Roger Dupay and Mike Brooks and Robert. I cannot remember his last name. And the other boy clear over here was the other boy that I don't remember his name. Anyhow, this is our trip home. All loaded and all the camping gear.
Merry Christmas. This is our Christmas time at Grandma Stevens. We try to do this every year. It's our tradition to have Christmas Eve at Grandma and Grandpa Stevens' house. There's Debbie, there's Sherry Lynn, and there's Rhonda, and these other little ones belong to Gay Woods, and there's Laura Jean, and there's Rhonda again, and everybody had to dress up nice for Grandma Stevens' Christmas Eve party. That one is Forrest, and I'm not sure who that is. I can't see her very well. This is Grandma's table. with pies and fruitcake and all the goodies that she liked to put out on her Christmas Eve table. There's Johnny Woods. That was Gay's husband. And she was Phyllis's daughter. And there's Aunt Phyllis. That's Grandpa's sister. And that's her daughter, Bertie, eating some celery sticks. And there's Grandma Stevens, and she's picked up, I think, Debbie. And there's Bob Sailor. He didn't live too long after this. And there's Gay, and there's her little daughter, and there's Johnny again. There's Aunt Beth. This is Grandma Stevens' sister, and there's Betty and Forrest, and this is Jack, and he's got Rhonda, Michael Malstead, and I think that's Laura Jean in the background, and that's Bertie again, Roberta, and there's the bright light again, and I'm not sure, this might be Gay's tiniest baby at the moment. It's not mine anyway. There's Michael, and there's his mother Marjorie Malstead, and Johnny Malstead, and Rhonda, and Sherry Lynn, and Grandpa, and Carl, and Barbara, and Stephen, and Forrest. Oh, Merry Christmas morning. This is at our home, and these nightgowns were made by Grandma, if you can believe that. And I had two little girls. I made them little nightgowns for their Christmas morning. And there's Debbie and her. And that Christmas stocking was proudly made by Grandma Stevens. She wanted to make all the kids their own stocking. So we kept those for many years and got a lot of good use out of Grandma's Christmas stockings that she made for the kids. And then I got this little, I love this little phonograph for the kids. It would go around and they could watch what the song was that was being played. And Rhonda loved the little fuzzies. So she had her little kitty. And what did Debbie get? She got a doll, a big doll. And it was almost as big as her.
Okay, here we are, New Year's Day, or they're close to it, at Black Meadow Landing on Lake Havasu, which is on the Colorado River out of Blythe, California. As you can see, my family went with me most of the time because we're with the Boy Scouts again. Here we are having a little bit of fun on the seesaw swing. And you can sure tell that we're either in Arizona or California, in the desert, because you don't see any trees. Now this is called Black Meadow Landing. Quite a place today, but in the day we went there was no crowds. It was nice. We had fun. We could camp where we wanted to, and so on and so forth. Today I imagine it's quite commercialized. Well, there's Rhonda. I don't know if she's looking for seashells, but she didn't like what she found, so she threw it down. I sure thought the Scouts were with her, but as yet I haven't seen them. That's a boat coming in the dock. I don't know if we're on it or not. I don't remember. I'll let you know when the boat is yours. Guess it wasn't us. I was just taking a picture of the boat. I have no idea what that is. Oh, here we go. Somebody's taking off skiing. I don't think this was any of our boys because they weren't old enough for this.
Well, here we are on our front lawn I think. And Rhonda's got her little pull toy that she loved. And Laura and Debbie are looking at a book. And there she goes, choo-choo-choo, down the sidewalk. And Laura's coming over for a little visit. And it looks like I'm expecting somebody there. So we're off doing our stuff on Sunday. And having our regular visit with Laura. And I think we're over at Grandma Stevens now, and it's Laura's birthday in March. So we're having a little birthday party with Stephen and Michael Malstead. And oops, now we've switched to Easter morning and our Easter dresses. And there's Debbie with her little purse, and Rhonda and their gloves and their hats. And there goes Rhonda, all decked out. Aren't they cute, Debbie? Oh, and we're on to another birthday party, I do believe, playing Drop the Hanky. And we've got Laura and Stephen again, and Michael, and Debbie. You're it. Go. More playtime. And that is Gay's little girl, and this is Forrest again. And we're over at Grandma Stevens as usual. And there's that old, I think it's the Easter egg hunt again. Yep, there it is. Okay, we are at Uncle Rex's for our Mother's Day party, and we're playing badminton this year. There's teenagers out there. There's Rex. There's Aunt Mary Louise, and there's little Bill, and there's Aunt Ida. She's so cute. I miss her. And Betty, and there's Mom, and Aunt Ruth, Uncle Chuck, and at some point they split. There's Jill, her daughter, and there's Charlene. And there is one of the other girls, I'm not thinking of her, and that was Sydney. She's all growing up there. And that was Grace Ann's daughter, the little blonde. And there's more ping pong here. I was a ping pong player, and it looks like I'm also expecting my son. Anyway, there's some more. I think that's a MacArthur boy. They're all growing up. Or was that? And there's Max. He's taking a nap. Max. There's Aunt Farrell. There she is. She always laughs. There's Deloy. And there's Betty MacArthur. And there's Uncle Ed. That's Aunt Farrell's husband. And there's Percy Gooch. That's his son. And more badminton. Rex in the background. Uh-oh, it's time for the arrival of that boy. There's the Queens. That's where my children were born. There's the daddy. He's coming to pick up Mommy and the baby. And I guess he had somebody help him take this picture, because it wasn't me this time. And there we are. This is my new and little boy, and was that a very happy dad to have this little boy finally arrive in the family. And there's my girls waiting to welcome home the little baby brother, and his name was Dallas. And there he is. Dallas Helm Stevens, welcome to the world and to your family. And we're going back into our house at 2519 Poplar Street in Walnut Park. That's where we lived when he was born. And Rhonda, and we also had a little pet out there in the backyard, and it was our little bunny. We had a lot of fun with our pets. There goes Debbie. There they are playing on the swings in the back. We've finally got him a little swing set to play on. Debbie and Rhonda swinging away. There he is. How about that? There he is. He's all boy. He was a fun little boy. Hanging on to Mom's hair, as usual. I'm not sure where we are here. Must be in camp. There's a bird and the chipmunk. Looks like a... And there goes our car. Into camp somewhere. Oh, I know where we are. We are at Santa's Village up in the top of the mountains at Lake Arrowhead. And this was a fun place to take the kids for an outing. We had Laura Jean with us. It's just right before Christmas, and it's kind of cool up there, but there's a little snow on the ground. There's Santa's reindeer, and Santa is here in the village, and there's Laura and Debbie. Our favorite story at Santa's Village is that Santa and Rhonda were not to ever meet, according to Rhonda, who would just tear off somewhere else if she saw Santa. And this is the pole, and it's made of ice, and it's very cold. And they had little lollipop trees. And so always we would be on a ride, and Rhonda would always be looking out to see where Santa was because she didn't want to be there. So here we go with our pumpkin ride, and Laura and the girls are enjoying this ride. I think that's Daddy's helping Debbie onto the pony. There they go on their little pony ride. Most little parks had these little pony rides, which were fun for the kids. Off they go into the woods. And still no sign of Santa Claus, so we're safe. Laura loved to feed those little baby goats, and they love to be fed. And then there's the little choo-choo train, and still no sign of Santa Claus. No. A lot of fun rides. This was a real fun place. Had different kinds of rides there. And there those girls are again, checking out what else they can do. Like I said, they had unique rides, and it was very enjoyable. We used to drive long ways just to show the kids a good time. And this is Catalina out there, and this is a happy birthday time. And there's Tina on the end of the table, and Laura, and there is Rhonda trying to blow that thing. And everybody's blowing. And I think this is at the park over by Grandma Steve. And this is at the park over by Grandma on Newell Street. Might be called the Newell Street Park, I don't know. But it is birthday time again for Debbie and Rhonda. And then, of course, that means that Dallas is about 3 months old there. And we're going to cut the cake. And Laura and we brought Tina, our little neighbor. And we're opening presents. And those little dresses were made by Grandma Stevens. She loved to sew for her little granddaughters. And And so busy with that present stuff. Here we go again at another ride in another park.
I believe this was taken down at the Long Beach Pike, which does not exist anymore, because that's the only place I know of where there's a roller coaster and the children can play a little bit. And then also the children rides plus other rides. But the roller coaster was one of the biggest rides down at the Pike. None of this stuff exists anymore down there. It's all turned into condos and apartment complexes. This another reason makes me think it's the Pike, because they're riding on fish. See, there's a roller coaster in the background. Here we go again. Christmas at Grandma and Grandpa Stevens's on Newell Street in Huntington Park, where all of her children would try and get together on Christmas Eve. And we always had a big feast. Anything and everything you wanted. I think that's... I believe that was Aunt Margie, but I'm not sure. That's Steve tackling the big bone. There's Bertie, Roberta, Sharon, Sherry Lee. That's Malstead Glam. There's Janice Hall, her daughter Janet, and my Aunt Beth, who was my mother's sister. There's curly-headed Debbie and curly-headed Rhonda. And there's Charlene Hall, who is Janice's daughter, oldest daughter. That looks like Jackie Malstead, one of Margie Malstead and Johnny's. Of course, there's the Bright Eyes. And there's Debbie again. And of course, there's Laura Jean and Stephen Malstead. Sherry Lynn, the adopted daughter of Margie and Johnny Malstead. She don't like those bright lights. Well, there's a whole bunch of them. I'm not going to try and name them. I think we've already told you who they were. Oh, there's little Dallas. Getting bigger and bigger. There's Stephen and Laura Jean, and I didn't catch who the other one. There's Janice, Charlene, Laura Jean passing out the present, playing Santa Claus, Aunt Beth in the back. Johnny Malstead and Sherry Lynn. I don't know whose hand that is over there. There's Grandma Stevens with kind of a bluish hair. Sometimes she'd go to the hairdresser, she'd come back with blue hair. This is part of the Sailor family. And of course, here we are back to our kids. This must be Christmas morning. And we've added another sock. And there's a radio flyer. I don't even know if they make those anymore. Oops, here comes the kids. Alice, he's not quite awake yet. We're still over in Popular Place. Here we go with our radio flyer. All the kids on board. Mom pulling. There's Dana pulling Rhonda. Yeah, Dana pulling Rhonda. Debbie pulling Rhonda. Dana wasn't even thought of yet. Alice used to like to fly up in the air. New baby buggy, walking her baby doll. Dana carrying her baby doll. Rhonda, I can't get these right, excuse me. That's why I think everybody had their name on their forehead. She's feeding her doll. Gosh, what a mean father. Making Debbie pull the whole family, and including Dad, in that new wagon. Uh-oh, here comes a car, and I'll lay you odds that it's probably Grandpa Stevens. Yep, I can tell by his hairdo, yep, and his glasses. That's Grandpa Stevens to come over and see what the kids got for Christmas. There's Dallas getting a ride in that new buggy. Yeah, Grandpa's pulling the girls around.
Oh, there's little Dallas trying to wake up. Oh my goodness, that bright light again. Oh, this is our Firestone plant that caught on fire one night, and we took pictures of it. It's a big tire company, Firestone Tires, had their big plant on Firestone Boulevard, and it was quite a blaze, and the smell would come from that plant sometimes our direction, and it was very obnoxious.